beautiful day here in North Texas as we get set for Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Horned Frogs and the Mountaineers. Good evening, everyone. Chuck Lamondola along with Connor Wanhanen here at Lupton Stadium as we get ready for the second game of this 3-game set. TCU coming out on top last night against the Mountaineers.
Yeah, every win that either one of these teams can stack up at this point in the season, mightily important for their postseason resume. Both of these clubs going for a potential at-large bid, so we'll see what happens here the rest of the weekend.
The Horned Frogs will have their work cut out for them against Derek Clark here today.
Yeah, he's been outstanding all season as the left-hander. See the reigning Big 12 pitcher and newcomer of the week. What he did last week against Kansas State was fantastic. 10 strikeouts was a season high for him. The 7 innings pitch. He's got 3 complete games for Randy Mazey's club as well. And you know he's going to be leaning on his left-hander for a big start today. But he's got his work cut out for him with the way that this TCU offense is starting to play. And Anthony Silva right at the front of that charge. Last night we said it had 2 home runs in his last 4 games. He made it 3 in his last 5 with a deep shot into left field. And you see what he's done over his last 5, 9 RBIs. He's starting to hit the ball in the air to the pull side a little bit more than he had early on. He's keyed in, and if he can get going, this TCU offense is going to be a lot to handle. Going to be a tough match for Derek Clark here tonight.
It should be another great ball game. We hope you'll stay with us. We'll have the first pitch coming your way right after this timeout. Welcome back to Lupton Stadium as we get set for the start of this afternoon's ball game. On the mound for the Horned Frogs, the right-hander Cole Klecker.
9th start of the year for the sophomore Cole Klecker. 1-2 record and a 5.08 ERA for the sophomore, but he's really starting to round up to form over in his last couple of outings. Key today, though, has to keep the baseball down. The wind's blowing out a little bit here at Lupton Stadium. Klecker's been susceptible to the long ball. We'll see if he's able to avoid that here today.
And it's a very tough lineup for him to face. A lot of power up and down the Mountaineers lineup for Randy Mazey as they have hit 81 home runs so far this year, including one last night. Reed Chumley leading the way with 14 home runs and 41 RBIs. Sam White also with a lot of power. J.J. Wetherholt, maybe one of the best players in the country for this Mountaineer ball club. So up and down this lineup there is power and speed for Randy Mazey. And Klecker will certainly have his work cut out for him tonight.
And even more important on a day like this where the ballpark's going to play offensive, paramount to keep that leadoff man off of first base, put yourself in a good position for the rest of the inning. It's going to be the key all weekend, always is, but especially with the way that West Virginia can swing the bat. We saw some good swings off of Peyton Tolley last night, but he was dominant in his outing. TCU able to get the victory here. Cole Klecker looking to continue that momentum here tonight.
Well, to your point, one of the things about Tolley's success last night was he didn't allow those leadoff men on base very often.
Yeah, it was really good getting to 0-1, 0-2, and it's something that's been the point of emphasis for this TCU pitching staff, especially over the last couple of months. When the offense has sputtered a little bit, the pitchers were able to carry them to some victories. Now everything's starting to click in the right direction, and this is the time of year that you want that to occur.
Get a look at Peyton Tolley in the TCU dugout. Looking on as Cole Klecker steps on the rubber. We're ready for baseball here tonight in Fort Worth. And the first pitch of the game misses inside for ball 1 to Logan Sauve, the West Virginia catcher. 301 batting average for Sauve. Drives this one to center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit and a good start to the ball game for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, you just have the feeling this is a Mountaineer offense that's going to come out swinging and aggressive tonight. You see Sauve gets a fastball that's on the outer part of the plate, stays on it nicely, and lines it right back up the middle.
With a runner at first base, J.J. Wetherholt will bat now for West Virginia. Missed a lot of time this year, but when he's been in the lineup, he's been as advertised as he was last year. Get a look at the numbers. 382. The home runs down only because he hasn't been in the lineup that often. This year missing about half the games for these Mountaineers this year. That one's pulled foul. But he is a polished hitter. Projected to go in the first round of the MLB draft next month. Klecker working from the stretch here with runner over at first base. Good pitch on the outside corner. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on Wetherholt.
Yeah, that's a nice job of getting a 1-2 for Cole Klecker here. And the thing you really want to be careful of with a hitter of the caliber of J.J. Wetherholt, don't want to catch too much of the plate if you don't have to in a 1-2 count.
Wetherholt able to get a piece of that one, keep the at-bat alive.
Against Peyton Tolley last night, we saw some of the in-at-bat adjustments that Wetherholt can make. A guy that has one of those larger leg kicks. 1-2, he shortens it up a tad, but it's all about the time of getting that front foot down in the hitting position.
1 for 3 with a walk last night as he fouls another pitch off, this time to the left side. Spoiling a couple of good pitches here from Cole Klecker.
Well, Klecker not a guy that's always going to light up the stat sheet with strikeouts. Did have 7 last week against New Mexico State. That tied a season high for him.
And again, a foul ball behind home plate. Byrne chasing it back to the backstop, has room, and he makes the catch. Nice job by Curtis Byrne. I'm not sure he saw it immediately off the bat, but stuck with it and made the grab right up against the backstop.
Now, and you saw the look on the face of J.J. Wetherholt. Not sure how this ball stayed in the field of play, but Curtis Byrne sticking with it, navigating the net, that retaining wall back there behind home plate. You see him just tracking with the baseball. With that spin, it's going to come back towards home plate. Curtis Byrne, a nice job to retire Wetherholt there for the first out of the ball game.
Left fielder Sam White will step in now with a runner at first, 1 away. First pitch taken low and away for a ball. White 0 for 3 with a walk. He struck out all 3 times. And he made outs last night. Off the plate. That'll run the count to 2 balls and no strikes. White, the sophomore, hitting .324. Definitely a home run threat with 10. Up in the count here, 3-0. And Klecker's pitch count already a little bit elevated up to 11 here through the first 3 batters. There's a strike on the outside corner.
And you can see White taking all the way there, looking for Cole Klecker to establish that fastball a little bit in the zone. You can still be really picky here.
Klecker trying to work around a leadoff base hit. There goes the runner. This one's hit on the ground right to second baseman Ryder Robinson. The Frogs get the out over at first base, but by starting the runner, the Mountaineers stay out of the double play.
Now, it's a nice job by Klecker on the mound there, changing up a little bit in a 3-1 count. He goes to a cutter here. You see just that small change in velocity and a little bit of spin on it. Creates the rollover for Sam White, and it's a nice job by Klecker to retire the second out here. Still trying to get the feel for the strike zone so far here tonight, but chance to get out of the inning.
Have to deal with Reed Chumley here. Highlighted him in the top of the broadcast. 14 home runs to lead the way for West Virginia as he takes strike 1 on a good breaking ball. Also leads the team in RBIs with 41. Up in an RBI spot here with a runner out at second base. That one's pulled fair right over the third base bag. Long throw by Brody Green, and he's able to get him for the final out of the inning. So Klecker works around a leadoff base hit. That's the only hit of the inning. No runs a hit. 1 man left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the first. No score here in Fort Worth. We get to the bottom half of the first inning here in Fort Worth. No score in the ball game, and on the mound, the left-hander Derek Clark for the Mountaineers.
Now, I talked about how good he's been for Randy Mazey in West Virginia this year, making his 11th start, the reigning Big 12 pitcher and newcomer of the week. A 6-2 record for the senior, 3 complete games on the season, only 19 walks in 71 2/3 innings of work. So if you're a TCU hitter, you better get ready to swing because it's going to be in the zone all night long.
The Horned Frog lineup looks like this tonight for Kirk Saarloos. Jack Arthur on an 11-game on-base streak will bat in the number 2 spot behind Sam Myers, followed by Maxwell, Byrne, Boyers, and Silva, who you highlighted earlier in the broadcast has been red hot. Brody Green's over at third, Carson Bowen at first, and Ryder Robinson at second base will bat in the 9 spot for the Horned Frogs.
Now with a couple of switch hitters in the TCU lineup, just going to be 2 left-handed bats for as long as Derek Clark's in the ball game. So expect it to be a pretty heavy fastball changeup approach, especially to those right-handers.
Well, Randy Mazey, when I asked him about Derek Clark, he said he's the guy who can go deep into ball games, and obviously, as you said, he's got those 3 complete games, but he said he's the guy we like to throw on Friday nights. He's kept him in this Friday night spot because he saves our bullpen. And we talk about Peyton Tolley doing that for the Horned Frogs, and the same case with Clark here for the Mountaineers. Sam Myers at the plate, leading things off for TCU. And he's up in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Myers had a couple of hits last night. He's hit safely in 19 of his last 20. You talk about having a good freshman year. Sam Myers is doing that. There's a strike on the inside corner. It's 3-1. Myers led off last night's game with a base hit. I think he thought that might have been a little low. It looked like he was getting ready to get rid of the bat.
Yeah, I see both of those strikes right on the inside part of the plate. And a nice job by Clark of not catching too much of the middle.
Full count now. Myers fouls that one off. Might have caught a piece of his foot. He's trying to walk it off. Plate umpire Doug Williams asking him if he's all right.
And you get one more look at this. Another fastball just running in there. Looks like it hits right above the shin guard as you foul it off.
Hit sharply on the ground, backhanded nicely by Kessler. And he throws over to first base for the first out of the ball of the inning.
Number 20, Jack Arthur.
Jack Arthur will be the batter. Arthur, seeing a lot of time in left field for the Horned Frogs, is really taking advantage of the opportunity. 11-game on base streak, average up over 300. Not a lot of velocity so far from Derek Clark. On the ground, backhanded by Chumley, the third baseman, and the throw is in time to get the speedy Clark over at first base by a step. And there were 2 quick outs.
And you see why Derek Clark can be one of those guys that gets you deep into ball game. You get a look at the West Virginia defense. White, King, Lumsden had a home run last night out in right field. Wetherholt, Chumley on the left side. Kresser, we saw make a play earlier, and Hussey over at first base with Sabe behind the plate.
Logan Maxwell takes a strike, showing bunt on that first pitch. Maxwell's been DH pretty much the whole second half of the year for the Horned Frogs. Another good breaking ball for strike 2, and it's 0-2. Clark misses outside with the fastball. Only topping out at 89, 90 miles an hour, so not a lot of velocity. He tries to go back out to the same spot and missed. One of those guys will show you the fastball, but really relies on the secondary stuff. This ball's hit well to center field, but Skylar King has a beat on it as he backs up and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. In the first for the Horned Frogs, they go 3 up and 3 down. We played 1 full. No score, TCU in West Virginia. Top half of the second inning here in Fort Worth. No score in the ball game. Top half of the first inning, J.J. Wetherholt was at the plate, fouled off a couple of baseballs, and I said, pitch count starting to elevate. 11 pitches at that point. We start the second inning, just 15 pitches thrown by Klecker.
Yeah, you see how quickly an inning can turn like that when you make a couple of big pitches, and Klecker doing just that.
Grant Hussey offers at the first pitch and comes up empty. The junior hitting .247. Another Mountaineer with a double-digit home run total with 11. He was 0 for 4 last night, a couple of strikeouts and a couple of ground balls to third base.
Well, the 11 home runs for Hussey this year puts him at the top of West Virginia's all-time home run list, 36 in his career.
Big swing, came up empty. TCU putting the shift on. They send Brody Green to the right side of second base. This ball's hit high in the air down the right field line. And had home run distance way back up on top of the top tier of the berm, but foul. And that was an easy swing by Hussey. You can see why he's the all-time West Virginia home run leader there. In the air. Left side, long run. Silva trying to get to it, and he can't as it lands on top of the wall over there. But with Silva shaded towards second base, that was just a long run for him, and the same thing for Arthur, who was shading towards center field.
Yeah, the entire TCU defense had taken a move to the right side. And this is a play with straight up alignment. Silva maybe has a chance on, maybe it's Jack Arthur out in left field, but just a long foul ball this time around.
Got him swinging. Big pitch by Klecker to get Hussey for the first out here in the second.
Now, you see what Cole Klecker does on this pitch. He lowers his sights just a tad. Everything had been a shade up, and we talked about it early on, but this is where he wants to live, down around the knees. Able to get Hussey to swing right through that fastball for the first out of the second.
Kyle West coming up. The designated hitter tonight for Randy Mazey. He fouls the first pitch into the second deck behind home plate. 12 home runs for the junior West, who pinch hit in the 7th inning of last night's game, hit a line drive into a double play, and that's a fair ball just inside the third base bag. West will hustle to second as Arthur gets the throw in, not in time. It's a double for West, his 10th of the year, and the Mountaineers have a runner in scoring position for the second consecutive inning.
Now, Kyle West came into the game late last night and stung one towards second base, but this is one you see how far off the plate this changeup runs from Cole Klecker. Stays on it, a ton of plate coverage, and able to take that down the left field line to pick up a double. First extra base hit of the night for either team, and Kyle West has himself a scoring position.
One out, Brody Cresser coming to the plate. He takes high for ball one. .291 for Cresser. That one in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes on Cresser. Cresser's driven in 18 runs. Had a double last night. His only hit of the game. Slow roller down the third base line. Brody Green comes up firing. Can't get the out over at first base as Chris Griffith calls him safe. Looked like a bang-bang play over at first base. On the play, West advances 90 feet, and there are runners at first and third for the Mountaineers on the infield single by Cresser.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any question from anybody in the Horned Frog dugout right now. You see this is a spinner that's just away from Cresser and cues it right off the end of the bat. It's nice technique from Brody Green coming in on it. Looks like it is a bang-bang play there, maybe just even a quarter of a step. That's about as close as you can get over there at first base.
A foot of Cresser down just before the ball enters Carson Bowen's glove. Ben Lumsden led an opposite field home run last night at the plate. It was after the first pitch and came up empty. For the second consecutive inning, Cole Klecker's going to have to work out a jam. Throw over to first base, and Cresser back to the bag. Definitely a threat to steal. He's 11 out of 12. The Mountaineers like to run. They've got 80 stolen bases this year. Strike two called on the outside corner.
You talk about Cresser at first base. He's got a great lead. Has done so through the first couple of pitches. And we'll see if he's just trying to time it up, pick a pitch here to run on. 0-2 count.
Just off the plate. A ball and 2 strikes on Lumsden. Throw over. Cresser able to get back with a dive. The shift is on for the left-handed hitting Lumsden. 3 infielders on the right side of the second base bag for the Horned Frogs. This one's hit right back to Klecker. He goes to second for 1, over to first, double play. TCU turns a 1-6-3 double play to get out of the inning without a run crossing the plate. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left on base for the Mountaineers. We'll head to the bottom of the second, no score. Beautiful night to catch a little of the waning sunshine here at Lupton Stadium. As we head to the bottom half of the second inning, no score in the ball game. Curtis Byrne will lead things off for the Horned Frogs here against Derek Clark, who's needed just 15 pitches to get through the first inning. Retired side in order. A shift on for Curtis Byrne. You don't see a whole lot of shifts against right-handed hitters, but get a look there at the shift that the Mountaineers are employing against Curtis Byrne.
Yeah, especially with the barrage of off-speed and secondary pitches. Looks like West Virginia playing for Curtis Byrne to roll over one.
Takes a strike at the bottom of the zone to run the count to 2-1.
This is where, as a hitter, especially in a 2-1 count, telling yourself to stay on one.
Pops that one up. Calling for it, the third baseman, Chumley. And there's one away.
Yeah, and this is a lot of what it is for Derek Clark. And we talked about the low walk numbers. He had 67 strikeouts in 71 innings coming into the ball game, so can average about 1 an inning or so, but it's just a lot of weak contact like this. He keeps you off balance at the plate. A a real pitchability guy that's going to move the ball in, out, up, down.
Boyer's trying to bunt his way on. Fouls that one back to the backstop. And I don't know, you can speak to this better than I can, but it looks like Derek Clark would be tough to bunt on with the ball moving as much as it does. Fouled at the plate. It's 0-2 on Boyers.
Yeah, it's just like anything else. If you're going to elect to go for it, you got to stick your nose in there, track the baseball. But the challenging thing, when you've got a guy that can put any pitch at any spot at any time, really have to stay on, stay disciplined.
Trying to sneak a fastball by him on the inside corner, but missed off the plate. A ball and 2 strikes on Boyers. Went right back inside with the fastball, but missed. I think Clark thought that pitch might have clipped the corner. No call from Doug Williams. Went back to the soft stuff, but missed outside.
We saw Clark have success on the inside corner to the left-handed hitting Sam Myers to get things going in the bottom of the first. A couple of good pitches, but no strikes called here in this at-bat.
Boyers fouls one. TJ Bruce unable to make the play on it. Another payoff pitch coming here to Boyers. And he draws a walk. Good at bat from Boyers. We've seen a lot of those from him this year. And Anthony Silva's coming to the plate. He had a big night last night for the Horned Frogs.
Oh, we talked about how good he's been swinging it. And see what he did last night. Got a pitch that was up, lined it into left center field. This was a double early on in the ball game, and then later on, getting every bit of this baseball deep to left field into the night off the player development center. And Anthony Silva starting to do a little bit of a dance right now. Sophomore seeing the ball well at the plate.
We commented about it prior to the game. He's even got a little bit of hop in his step, just running out to his spot in the field. And no matter how tough it got at the plate for Silva, he always brought the glove with him. That was never a question as you see the numbers on Silva. The 4 home runs don't look like much, but you talked about it at the top of the broadcast. Most of them coming over the last few weeks. He's up in the count here, 2-0.
And 3 of those 4 coming in the last 5 games. And there was an at-bat last night late in the ball game. You know, Silva gets to 2 strikes, and it's the most into a 2-strike approach that I think we've seen him in the last couple of months. You could tell sometimes guys have that competitive edge, especially when things start to go well, and you're that keyed into it. We talk about it all the time, but as an offensive player, you get into that mindset. You're trying to do everything you can to stay in it as long as you can.
Even if it means wearing torn batting gloves. Throw over to first base, and Boyers able to get back. Here's the beat-up batting gloves.
Yeah, those will not be getting changed out until you have an offer. That's for sure.
Another throw to first, and Boyers back easily this time. Boyers with 11 steals this season. He's only been caught once, so he's a threat to go. At some point, this one is skied to right center field. Moving over the right fielder, Lumsden, and he makes the catch for the out. 2 away, and that's one that Silva probably will want back as he was way out in front. So Silva retreats into the dugout. Derek Clark now trying to get the final out of the inning as he faces Brody Green here. Chase back to the bag. Brody Green Green 1 for 3 last night. Drove in a run on a ground out, had a sacrifice fly, also a base hit. .357 batting average for Brody Green. When he's been in the lineup, he's hit well. That one pulled to the left side. Nice play made by Chumley, moving to his left, and he's able to get it across in time to retire Green and the Horned Frogs. Here in the second, no runs, no hits. One man left on base for TCU. We'll move to the third inning here in Fort Worth. No score. Horned Frogs and Mountaineers. We get to the top half of the third inning here in Fort Worth. No score in the ball game. Well, both of these teams have qualified for the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championships over in Globe Life Field, which will start on Tuesday and run through Saturday, May 21st through the 25th. Pool play through the semifinals, and all of those games will air right here on ESPN Plus. And then the championship game will come up Saturday night, May the 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern. That'll air on ESPNU. So a lot of baseball to be played next week. If you've never come out to Globe Life Field for the Big 12 tournament, you really should. It's a great environment and a lot of quality baseball played over a 5-day period of time. Nine-hole hitter Skylar King leading it off. Skies that one foul off the left side and out of play. They're leaving the count of 1-1 on King. 5 homers for the sophomore to go along with the .274 batting average. A lot of speed from Skylar King. You want to keep him off the base paths. This one's hit well towards right field. Boyers on the dead run makes the catch. That ball looked for sure to be an extra base hit off the bat of King, and somehow Boyers got there in time to make the grab.
Now, this is a great swing by King at the plate to get this sequence started. You see he gets a pitch up and stays flat through it. He gets a little bit more lift on this, and it's probably a home run, but Boyers on the dead sprint. We talked about how much prowess he's shown out there in right field, and chasing this one down. He knows right field and Lupton Stadium better than anybody else. Going and get it. The senior reaching out for the first out here in the third.
Back to the top of the order, Logan Sauve at the plate as he takes ball 1. That's a heck of a grab by Boyers as he had to really extend at the last second to reach the baseball. You saw it almost came out of his glove. And you're right, he has logged a lot of time out there in right field. Knows exactly where everything is out there, and Boyers has always had good speed, using it there. Swing and a miss on a good pitch by Klecker. And that's 1-2 on Salve. Salve led the game off with a base hit up the middle, and as far as second base, and then was left stranded. Lines another one towards right center field. This time it gets down, cut off by Myers, and he'll hold Salve to a single, and another good swing by the Mountaineer catcher. Second base hit of the ballgame.
Yeah, 2 for 2 now for Sauve. Got a fastball that he could handle back in the first inning. This is a secondary pitch he stays on. You see him go out there and get it. Leaning the other way. Just a great piece of hitting by the catcher. And a nice job on the back end of this by Sam Myers to cut that ball off, get it in, keep Sauve over at first base. Keep the double play in order here with 1 out in the third.
J.J. Wetherholt coming up for the second time. Takes the first pitch off the plate, ball 1. He fouled out to Curtis Byrne his first time up 0 for 1. Hits this one well to straightaway center field, going back and looking up is Myers, and that ball's out of here as Wetherholt gives the Mountaineers a 2-0 lead on his 7th home run of the season. That's the 10th home run allowed by Cole Klecker here this year.
Yeah, and TCU had kept Wetherholt at bay thus far, but See this a change up that just stays up in the zone. That's one place you can't be with a guy like J.J. Wetherholt. Staying on this one, hitting it just shaded to the left side of center field. And the Mountaineers strike first for 2 here in the 3rd inning.
Sam White will come to the plate now with the bases empty.
Bang, get off the phone.
Here's the pitch on the way. Just off the plate. Well, that was going to be the difficulty for Klecker against this ball club. As you see what White's done tonight, 0 for 1. He bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. But for Klecker, who, when the pitches are above the belt, is susceptible to giving up the home runs.
We talked about the ballpark too. The flag's completely still here at Lupton Stadium right now. And during batting practice for both teams, the ball jumping out of the park all over the field.
Ball 4, and it's a 4-pitch walk to White. So a hard hit line drive by King to start the inning. A base hit by Save, and then the 2-run home run, now a walk. And that will lead to a meeting on the mound. Here comes Dave Lawn out of the TCU dugout to join the party on the mound. He wants to talk things over with Cole Klecker. Up to 43 pitches now for Klecker.
This year for Cole Klecker, it really has been a pretty simple story. It's all about the height and where he's living. If it's up in the zone, he's been susceptible to not only the home run, but extra base hits in general. And when it's been down, it's where he's had a lot of success. Last week against New Mexico State, was able to do it, just scattered 5 hits in 5 innings, a couple of runs, but had those 7 strikeouts and got a lot of swings and misses right over the top or threw some fastballs because they were down around the knees. With a team this good offensively, as we've been talking about with West Virginia, home runs up and down the order. Got to make sure you're careful. Looking to minimize the damage here in the 3rd.
TCU already getting their bullpen busy. As Dave Lawn went out to the mound. Reed Chumley at the plate now. He grounded out his first time up. In the dirt, throw down the first by Byrne. Sam White started and then stopped, thinking that ball might get further away from Curtis Byrne than it did.
Yeah, White gets caught in the middle a little bit here, and if Byrne gets up without the hesitation, he's got an out over at first base. You see White reading that angle of the ball in the dirt, and it's that little stumble that gives a window, but Byrne took an extra shuffle step there, allows White to get back in.
In the air, well hit to straightaway center field, but Myers has room shy of the warning track, and there are 2 outs. Looked like Chumley just got underneath that one.
Yeah, you can tell what the approach is right now, hunting for anything that's up above the knee to that thigh belt area. Good swing by Chumley, but Myers able to range back, make the play.
Now 2 outs, runner at first for Grant Hussey. Throw over to first base, and White able to get back. Klecker misses with a fastball up and away. Hussey struck out his first time to the plate. Hits this one well to straightaway center field. Going back, Myers. This one's out of here. And it's a 4-0 lead for West Virginia. That one well hit to the right of the batter's eye in straightaway center field, landed halfway up the berm out there. A long home run by Grant Hussey.
Now you could see Hussey gearing up for this one. Both of these home runs now off of changeups that just stay up a little bit too high. And you see Myers give this an effort, but it's a no-doubter out to center field. This one way up there for a ball here at Lupton Stadium. And Kirk Sarlos out. That's going to be it for the starter, Cole Klecker.
Well, Klecker's night is over as TCU goes to the bullpen here in the third. We'll tell you all about Chase Hoover when we get back from this timeout. TCU goes to the bullpen here in the third inning. It calls on their left-hander, Chase Hoover.
16 and a third innings of work for Chase Hoover in 17 prior appearances, but TCU potentially needing some more length out of their left-hander here. A 6.61 ERA for Hoover, 23 strikeouts to 9 walks in his time on the mound. And we talked about this coming into the ball game. The ballpark going to play a little bit smaller than it usually does. A couple of big 2-run homers here in the third inning for West Virginia.
And for Cole Klecker, he lasts just 2 2/3 innings tonight. Gives up 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. A strikeout and a walk. 47 pitches for Klecker, and I'm sure it's not the outing he was hoping for here this evening, as he gives up a couple of long home runs here in this inning, accounting for all 4 runs. And that's what he's been susceptible to this year. He's given up 11 home runs now in 47 innings now.
It's a little late to be doing math here. It's the weekend.
Well, you just got the extent of it.
You know, it's amazing though. We talk about it being a game of inches all the time, but you know, if able to get on top of that changeup to Hussey just a little bit more, a couple more inches down in the strike zone, potentially swings right over the top of it. But the lefty puts a great swing on it, and it's halfway up the berm out there in center field.
Then he got him on a pitch down the first time up. Was able to strike him out, but we talked about Hussey being the all-time home run leader. Adds another one to his total here in this inning. Foul back by Kyle West. West with a double just inside the third base bag his first time up. Fouled that one off the end of the bat, back to the screen. And it's 0-2. And this Mountaineer team coming out swinging tonight with 6 hits already. And the way that Derek Clark's been pitching, TCU's got their work cut out for him. Hit sharply and right off the body of Ryder Robinson. It kicks far away from him. Gives you an idea how hard the ball was hit as Robinson was in front of it. It took a big hop and ricocheted off his body and went about 50, 60 feet away from him.
No, it's very similar to the ball that Kyle West hit late in the ball game coming off the bench last night. See him stay through this one, and that's just a one-hop heat-seeking missile off the bat of Kyle West. And I'm not sure where it gets Robinson. Looks like it kicks up potentially off the palm of the glove or the body, but he's fortunate that he's able to get to that ball before West turns it over to second base.
Strike called on the outside corner to Brody Kressler. And a little dribbler down the third base line his first time up. And he turned into a hit. 1-for-1 for Kressler. And that's a tough play for any infielder when the ball's hit right at your feet like that, with as much velocity. That ball thrown away by Hoover. It goes into where we're down by the tarp, and now they're going to call him back to second base. I thought it went in to where the tarp was and ricocheted back out, which is a dead area down there. So he just gets the one base on the throwing error by Hoover.
Yeah, and you'll see this is a throw here that Hoover just doesn't quite finish. the low arm slot, doesn't get all the way through the baseball, and that throw just leaks out away from him. And perhaps a break for the Horned Frogs there that hits off the tarp, because it looked like West had his sights set on third base. No real chance for Carson Bowen there. Try and play goalie.
Well, now another runner in scoring position is who was able to throw a backdoor breaking ball in there for strike 2. It's 1-2. Foul tip. Curtis Byrne able to hold on for the final out of the inning. But West Virginia takes the early lead. 4 runs, 3 hits. Couple errors for the Horned Frogs. We head to the bottom of the third. 4-0 Mountaineers. Bottom half of the third inning. TCU finds himself behind here. 4-0. Carson Bowen leads things off for TCU and takes the first pitch upstairs. Ball 1. The Frogs without a hit so far in this ball game against Derek Clark, who's really moved the ball in and out and around. This ball hit well towards right field. Going back is Lumsden, and he makes the catch right up against the fence in front of the 325 sign for the out.
That's one of the better swings we've seen from a Horned Frog hitter so far this evening. See Carson Bowen staying with it, going the other way. And we know he's not afraid to do that, but Lumsden gets a beat on this one. Talked about how good Luke Boyers has been out in right field. This is a nice catch as well for the Mountaineer right fielder.
1 up, 1 down, top of the order. We'll check that, the 9-hole hitter, Ryder Robinson, for the Horned Frogs. He takes the first pitch for a strike. Did he go around? He did, says Chris Griffith over at first base, so it's 0-2. Just one base runner for the Horned Frogs to this point in the ballgame. That was Boyers, who walked last inning. And now TCU finding themselves down by 4 here. Soft liner right into the teeth of the shift, and the catch is made by Kresser, who is on the shortstop side of second base.
Yeah, straight up alignment. This probably sneaks up the middle for a base hit. Ryder Robinson, he's just out in front of that. Another off-speed pitch out of the hand of Derek Clark. And we'll see this second time through the Horned Frog lineup, if they're able to make those adjustments, potentially line up the other way, stay on the ball, let it travel.
Myers showing bunt, fouled it off. He took a look at Kresser and saw him playing back, as was the third baseman. Chumley was off the line, so he had a couple of different spots he could go to here. As you take a look at the West Virginia alignment, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 on Sam Myers. Clark dropped down sidearm that time. Trying to just change the look a little bit.
Here we go.
If you're the Horned Frogs, you're going to have to figure him out, because he will stay in the game a long time. He's got those 3 complete games, and Randy Macy said he can easily throw 100-plus pitches in the ball game. Myers with a flare down the left field line. Is going to dunk in for a base hit. First hit of the game for TCU. And they've got a runner on here with 2 outs in the third.
Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be pretty, but one way or another, you're trying to break through if you're the TCU offense. See, this is one that just gets up and in on the hands of Sam Myers, and he's able to muscle it into left field for the first Horned Frogs hit of the night. TCU has a little bit of life here with 2 outs.
Myers now with a 12-game hitting streak for the Horned Frogs. He's over at first base for Jack Arthur, who takes a strike. Oh for 1 for Arthur. He grounded to Chumley over at third base his first time up. Laid off a 78 mile an hour off-speed pitch. Back to the fastball on the outside corner. I can see why he would be tough on hitters, moving the ball up and down and changing speeds effectively with multiple pitches. Struck him out on a fastball over the outside corner. Now will end the inning. For TCU, no runs, a hit. One man left on base through 3 here in Fort Worth. It's 4-0 West Virginia. Beautiful shot of the sun setting behind Lupton Stadium here as we start the top half of the 4th inning. And we talked about the prolific Mountaineer offense that Randy Mazey has this season, and so far they've done some damage here tonight.
Now they can strike in a hurry through the first 3 innings. 6 hits already. See what they've done with runners on. Of course, the big blast, the 2 two-run home runs in that 3rd inning off the bats of J.J. Wetherholt and Grant Hussey. Chased Cole Klecker out of the ballgame, and for TCU, going to need some length out of the bullpen here. It's Hoover on the mound right now.
He'll face 8-9-1 in the Mountaineer batting order. Ben Lubsington will lead things off. And he takes a strike. By the way, that was good. 2 two-run home runs. That's tough to say.
Got to try and slow it down, emphasize it a little bit.
Hoover just missed off the inside corner. And leaving things up on Lumsden. Who bounced into a double play back in the 2nd inning. No comebacker to Klecker at the time, and he was able to turn it into an inning-ending double play. Lumsden drops a bunt down first base side. Good bunt. Going to be a tough play. Not in time. Lumsden able to beat it out. Put it in a perfect spot. Gets himself on the leadoff the 4th inning for the Mountaineers.
We saw him try this a couple times last night after his home run in his first at bat off of Peyton Tolley. This one he's able to get down. It looks like he catches the Horned Frogs a little bit surprised here. You can see where Carson Bowen's playing. He's deep, he's right on the line, and then it just becomes a foot race with the pitcher. See Lumsden, and this is another close play over at first, but he's able to sneak that right foot in there. Chris Griffith right on top of it, and it's a bunt single to get things going for West Virginia here in the 4th.
Lumsden 3 for 3 in stolen bases on the year. He's over at first base. Skylar King takes a strike, and he showed bunt on that first pitch. Oh for 1 tonight, lined out to Boyers in right after he hit the ball really hard. Boyers made a nice play on it. Bunted back to the mound, fielded by Hoover, who goes to first base for the out. Probably had a chance to turn around and go to second base, but wisely took an out at first.
Yeah, this is one of those plays you see as King squares around to bunt. It's bunted hard enough and right back to him. He does have a chance to go to second base, but as a left-handed thrower, that would have been an awkward attempt to try and flip your hips around and get the ball firmly over to Silva. If you ever get caught in between, you've got to take that secure out, and that's what Hoover does going to first.
Logan Sauve at the plate. Takes inside for ball 1. Well, this is what Randy Mazey's teams do, by the way. They get a lead, and then they just put pressure on you. Got the lead with the home runs, and now playing a little small ball here in this inning. Trying to extend the lead out. Flipped in the air, foul. That'll make the berm on the right side. And for TCU, the way that Derek Clark is pitching, a 4-run deficit feels like 10.
You're definitely going to have to make some adjustments on the offensive side, but for the time being, it starts with keeping the Mountaineers at 4.
Foul back. Fastball from Hoover. Got him swinging in a big strikeout for Hoover. That's the second out of the inning, and the first time that Lumsden's been, or Sauve rather, has been retired here tonight. J.J. Wetherholt coming to the plate. And this is what he did last time up.
Yeah, you see TCU had held him in check thus far, but gets a changeup that's elevated out of the hand of Cole Klecker and does not miss it, going the other way, left center field. J.J. Wetherholt, a projected top 10 pick coming up in the draft this summer. Showing you exactly why right there with that swing.
7th home run of the year for Wetherholt. He takes fastball over, but low, ball 1. Another ball well hit to deep right center field, and that's another 2-run shot for J.J. Wetherholt. His second of the ball game, and it's 6-0 Mountaineers. And that's another no-doubter off his bat.
Now you see how the ball just jumps right off of it, and he's so efficient with his body in the swing. Able to generate a ton of power, and you see this is a fastball, another one that's up in the zone. He knows it immediately, gets that foot down, gets the hands right through it. And with that extension, that ball's going to travel here tonight at Lupton Stadium. 3 2-run shots now for the Mountaineers, and they've busted it open 6-0.
Trying to even this series up, and they're doing a good job of heading in that direction. Sliding attempt made by Arthur, but he comes up a few feet short, as that ball was fouled off by Sam White. Well, it's been the long ball tonight for the Mountaineers. Just take a look at the effort by Jack Arthur.
I'm not so sure that wasn't just to slow himself down, too, going into the wall.
Arthur looking back into the sun. You can see sunglasses on. Tough time of the day to be playing left field. He's even using the glove as a shield to see the ball. The breaking ball misses low, but he went around. And we count 0-2. White walked in the third and then came around when Grant Hussey left the yard. Also bounced into a fielder's choice. A ball and 2 strikes. So West Virginia using the long ball tonight. They've hit 84 home runs now. 3 of them tonight.
Go now.
Swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes White. They'll have to throw to first base to complete the strikeout, and they do. But West Virginia picks up 2 more runs. Comes on 2 hits, nobody left on base. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. West Virginia on top, 6-0. Another 2-run home run by J.J. Wetherholt, extending the Mountaineer lead out to 6. And mentioned it last inning, it seems like about 15 runs on the board the way that Clark is pitching right now, as Maxwell fouls one back.
And for the Horned Frogs right now, going to have to just try and stick your nose in there and play for one. See if you can't break through, have some consistent offense put together. Just 48 pitches right now for Derek Clark. And you talked about the potential longevity that he's got. 3 complete games on the year at this point in the season when both West Virginia and TCU trying to stack up as many wins as they can. Expect Clark to be in there as long as he continues to be this effective.
Hit to deep right field. Going back is Lumsden. He jumps in the air, and that ball is over the fence. I don't know if Lumsden hit it and kicked it over the top of the wall, but it's a home run for Logan Maxwell, his 3rd of the year, and the Horned Frogs are on the board.
Now, we've been talking about making adjustments, and the best swing of the night from a Horned Frog hitter comes from Logan Maxwell. See, he gets one up, stays through it here, and almost a spectacular play defensively by Lumsden out and right. Times the leap perfectly. Looks like he might just missed that ball. It's off the top of the fence, it looks like there. Yeah, it does. Takes a hit. But it doesn't matter for Logan Maxwell. He'll take that solo shot. The Frogs are on the board here in the 4th.
Curtis Byrne at the plate takes a strike. 40th home run of the year for the Horned Frogs. Curtis lines this one to left field and over the head of a leaping Sam White. Heading to second base is Curtis Byrne. He'll coast in with a stand-up double, back-to-back extra base hits for TCU. You talked about the adjustment. Looks like the Horned Frogs have figured a little something out here against Derek Clark.
Yeah, the second time through, a couple of better swings. Now you see Byrne get through one here, and what he's done, it's been really impressive, the adjustments that he's made too. Has had trouble in the past hitting that ball in the air to his pull side, but he's made the timing adjustments. You see him get the hands through there and doing a little magic out there on second base. A double for Curtis Byrne.
10th double of the year for Curtis. Boyer shows bunt, drops a bunt down out in front of home plate. The throw is wild, and a run's going to score as Curtis Byrne's coming all the way around. And Boyers ends up at first base on the play. That'll be an error on the throw by the pitcher.
Oh, we talked about how quickly it can happen for West Virginia offensively. TCU making it happen with some pace here in the bottom of the 4th. Luke Boyer is putting the pressure on. You see him deaden this baseball right in front of the mound, forcing Derek Clark to play good catch. Hussey not able to knock it down, and it's another run for the Horned Frogs. And this is where, if you're West Virginia out in the field, if you're Derek Clark on the mound, you've got to try and slow the game down here a little bit. TCU taking all that momentum out there that the Mountaineers had.
Anthony Silva takes inside, ball 1. Boyer's over at first base. Credited with a base hit. And then an error on the throw. Silva trying to put a 2-spot on the board there. I was about to say on that replay, it looked like Boyers was going to beat that bunt or that throw to first base no matter what. Silva out in front of the off-speed pitch, and now he's in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's a really nice pitch by Clark after the last swing from Silva. You talked about the intent, what he's trying to do with those swings, stay soft and away from him. And he swings right through it. We'll see if Anthony makes the adjustment with 2.
He's got a big hole on the right side, and he strikes out swinging here for the first out of the inning. Brody Green will be the batter for the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, this is just some of the experience here by Derek Clark. Talked about the need to try and slow the game down. You see he surprises Anthony Silva with a fastball. The sophomore just behind that one. And Clark able to get an out here in the fourth inning after the blitz from the Horned Frogs.
Big hole on the right side as they shift again for a right-handed hitter. Brody Green takes the pitch inside, ball 1. Only one infielder on the right side of the Mountaineer defense. That's Hussey, and he's holding Boyers on. There's literally 100 feet of open space on the right side of the infield. If Green just gets one down on that side, he's going to get a base hit, and he pulls this one just foul. TJ Bruce thought that was a fair ball. Brody Green just missing an extra base hit as Chris Koski called it foul on the third base lines. TJ Bruce was signaling fair ball when it went by him.
Yeah, you see he's lobbying for it. You get another good look at this. And it's close. It just skipped there on that foul side of the line.
Well, it took the hop right over the bag, but then it came down in foul territory. Boyer was able to get back standing up. Green went after a pitch that was only 78 miles an hour.
Yeah, this is one that's off the plate. You see Brody pulling off a little bit on that one, and with the vacated right side of the field, if you can stay on something like that, even just tap it to the right side, you're going to have yourself a single.
Tries to go that way, but hits a little pop-up, and that's going to allow Kresser to get over there and make the catch. If he puts that one on the ground, he's got a base hit. Instead, he flips it in the air, and now there are 2 outs.
First baseman, Carson Bowen.
Carson Bowen coming to the plate here with 2 outs and a runner at first base. You got to give Derek Clark a lot of credit. The Horned Frogs coming out of the gate hard here in this inning, scoring twice, but he's settled down, and now he's an out away from getting out of the inning without any further damage being done as he delivers a strike to Carson Bowen here. Bowen hit the ball well to right field, but Lumsden ran it down right against the fence. This one's hit sharply through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Bowen stops at first. Boyers advances to second.
Now Bowen with another hard hit ball here. You see him gets a slider that just continues to come back over the plate, and has proven he's so good at going through that hole on the left side between shortstop and third base. Horned Frog first baseman extending this 4th inning here, giving Ryder Robinson a chance with a runner in scoring position.
I talked to Carson about his offensive struggles of late, and he said he watched the game back last night, and he said he realized he was flying, that front shoulder was flying open on every swing. He's been talking about to himself to try and keep this one in. This one's lifted in the air down near the right field line, and easy chance for Lumsden to make the catch, and that will do it. But the Horned Frogs are on the board. They scored twice. The 2 runs come on 4 hits. There's an error. 2 left on. We have played 4, 6-2 West Virginia. Top half of the 5th inning here at Lupton Stadium. 6-2 West Virginia on top. Chase Hoover's thrown 22 pitches since he entered the ball game back in the 3rd inning. Allowed the 2-run home run to J.J. Wetherholt last inning, but that's the only damage done against him so far.
Now with a little bit of life from the Horned Frog offense, trying to keep this a 4-run ball game. Still certainly well within striking distance. We've got plenty of baseball here to go tonight.
Reed Chumley leading it off, and he takes strike 1. Well, we talk about it all the time. Once you've got the offense going, you want to get your team back in the dugout as quickly as you possibly can. Ball under strike. Keep that momentum on your side of the diamond. Ball and 2 strikes on Chumley. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to Brody Green. He's also flown out to Myers in center field. Hoover fires that one all the way back to the backstop. Leaving the count up with 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This TCU bullpen's been so good coming into the series. Just 17 earned runs allowed in their last 15 games. That's 84 2/3 innings of work.
Got him swinging, might have got a piece of it, but Curtis Byrne was able to hang on. 1 gone here in the 5th. That has been the strong suit of the Horned Frogs.
Well, this is a good start here for Hoover. You see him pulling the string on this, going to the changeup away. Able to get Chumley swinging right through it. That's exactly what you're hoping for. This feels like we talk about it all the time. Your team's able to get back into the ball game a little bit, put up 2, and a leadoff walk or a single takes the air out of your dugout. Hoover starting with out number 1 here in the 5th.
Goes to the breaking ball, gets a strike to Grant Hussey. Hussey picked up his 12th home run of the year back in the 3rd inning, a 2-run shot to straightaway center field. All 3 of the 2-run home runs that West Virginia has tonight basically coming left or right of dead center field. On the ground, right into the shift. And right there to make the play was Silva. 2 outs.
I see both of these teams defensively not afraid to put some shifts on. There's probably a base hit for Hussey up the middle if Silva's not right there to snare it and make the play.
Well, Kyle West coming up with 2 outs and the bases empty. Goes after the first pitch, came up empty. 0-1 on West, who's been on base twice. Reached on an error on a smash that he hit right at Ryder Robinson his last time up. Ball and strike on him, and he's also got a double. He went the other way for his double. That came back in the 2nd inning. West, one of just 4 players from the state of West Virginia on the Mountaineer roster this year. We talked last night about the job that Randy Mazey has done with this West Virginia program. He took over a program that was in the doldrums, has now made it competitive in the Big 12 as they won the regular season championship last year and near the top of the league all this year as well. And one of the things I said to him, I said, you know, it's an amazing job that you did with not a whole lot of players in the state of West Virginia. Is down on strikes. Goes West to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Mountaineers here in the 5th. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up. 6-2 West Virginia on top. Well, MLB Network's Intentional Talk was here at Lupton Stadium this afternoon as Kevin Millar and company were here to have their show on the air. You see Peyton Tolley talking to Kevin Millar there. They had on Kirk Saarloos as well as Anthony Silva. And all the guys here staying for the ball game, or at least a couple of them staying to watch the ball game here tonight. You see Kevin Millar talking to Kristen Saarloos on the coach's patio out there.
Oh, Kevin's got some purple boots on right now too. Not afraid to support the Horned Frogs.
Kevin with a ranch down outside of Austin, Texas. The entire cast of the show was down there working on his ranch yesterday and made the trip up here. Myers bunts that one foul. Kevin Millar was the guest speaker at the first pitch party this year, and at that party, and they asked him if he'd come and do the show, and he said yes, and we brought the show here. The final weekend of the season, and again, Myers bunting one foul. And interesting, Myers, who's usually a really good punter, having some problems here with the off-speed stuff from Derek Clark.
Now we've seen him become really good at that push bunt where he's taking it to the right side of the field, but a few times tonight we've seen him try and go down the third base line with Chumley shifted over.
And he goes down swinging here to start the bottom half of the 5th inning.
And this is a very rare type of at bat with what we've come to see from the freshman Sam Myers. A couple of bunts that he's not able to get the barrel above the baseball, then just puts you in such a hole when you're down 0-2, and both of them have been bunt attempts. Fastball up above the letters and swinging right through it. Not a guy that chases very much. Great strike zone discipline, but Clark able to take advantage.
There's a strike on the outside corner to Jack Arthur. Pitch way off the plate. Arthur 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to third, struck out. And he's in the hole here, ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2 now on Arthur. So he tries to get something going with 1 out here for the Horned Frogs. That pitch was left up, but he fouled it back. Arthur stays on that pitch, but fouls it to the berm on the right side. So the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes on him. Pulled, foul on the third base line.
I see what TCU's done over these last couple of innings at the very least. Gotten that pitch count up a little bit for Derek Clark. 74 pitches now. This is the 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Jack Arthur.
Arthur chops it on the ground. In the hole, Wetherholt, long throw, not in time. An infield hit for Arthur. They had the shift on, and Wetherholt was in the hole between short and third, just couldn't make the throw over. Arthur runs well, able to get down the line and beat it out.
Yeah, knew he had to put something on this, so took a little bit of extra time trying to muscle up for this long throw in the hole. You see Arthur chopping it. You mentioned the speed. See Wetherholt having to sit back on this ball, and just that little bit extra gather step is all Jack Arthur needs to beat it out for an infield single. 9-pitch at bat. It's a quality AB for Jack Arthur.
Logan Maxwell at the plate now. They throw over to first base, and Arthur just barely able to get back. Ahead of the tag from Hussey. Randy Mazie wants him to take a look at this. As he stepped out of the dugout and immediately put his hands to his ears, wanting the umpires to take a look at this play over at first base.
I see Arthur having to crawl back a little bit to first base with that left hand, but quick glance at that view, I think he probably gets in there with the padding on the right hand.
Now the call under review over at first base. The call on the field was that Arthur was able to get back in time. Meanwhile, Clark flipping the ball up and walking around. Taking a look over at the big board here. As they show it on the screen up there. You're getting a look at it right now on the left side of your screen, and on the look we have right there, I think Arthur's able to get the hand in ahead of the tag, which is up around the elbow or the shoulder.
Yeah, it's a close play, but I think that Chris Griffith over at first base, right on top of it, gets it right the first time.
The umpire's behind the TCU dugout taking a look at it on the request of Randy Mays. He was looking off from the corner of the first base dugout. Here come the umpires, and this call is going to be confirmed over at first base. So Arthur's able to get back. Randy Mays using one of his challenges. Not necessarily a bad time to use it on a close play like that, especially with TCU having a little bit of momentum here, scoring a couple of runs last inning. Got a runner on here with 1 out in the 5th. Logan Maxwell, who homered his last time up at the plate, and another throw over to chase Arthur back to the bag. Dirt, and a nice stop behind the plate by Save. That ball looked like it was ticketed to the backstop. Maxwell fouls that one off. They have the shift on for Maxwell. 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond. The only infielder on the left side is Chumley, the third baseman. This one's pulled on the ground, a couple of hops towards first. Good job by the pitcher, Clark, to get over. And there are 2 outs as Arthur advances to second on the play.
And not hit quite hard enough for Grant Hussey, the first baseman, to try and turn this one up the middle. Wisely just elects to flip it to Clark, covering at first base for the second out here, the 5th. A lot of moving pieces if you try and go to second base with this ball. Such a tight window to throw in. It's like you're throwing a screen pass as a quarterback.
Now Curtis Byrne will bat with a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Pickoff play out at second. Presser sneaking in. She's stationed right behind second base. Byrne pops it in the air, right side. Drifting back as Hussey, and the first baseman makes the catch for the final out of the inning. TCU, no runs, a hit. They strand a man. We played 5. 6-2, Mountaineers on top. Beautiful sunset here in Fort Worth. We head to the 6th inning. Mountaineers leading by 4. Chase Hoover back to the mound for TCU. 35 pitches for the lefty since he entered the game back in the 3rd.
And outside of the 2-run home run off the bat of J.J. Wetherholt, not a bad outing thus far for Hoover. 5 strikeouts that he's racked up in his 2 1/3 innings of work.
And face the bottom 3rd of the Mountaineer batting order here as we start the 6th inning. Brody Kressler takes outside. Hoover tried to backdoor him with the breaking ball. Kressler, an infield hit back in the 2nd inning. Hits this one high in the air to left field, and it is out of here. Another home run for these Mountaineers, who are putting on a power display here at Lupton Stadium tonight, and that extends the lead to 7-2.
And all 7 of these runs coming via the homer so far tonight. It's another off-speed pitch that you see Kressler go get. Get a look at it. It's a breaking ball, and it just floats right over the heart of the plate. Gresser getting the barrel out in front, able to take this out over the left field wall.
4th home run of the ball game for the Mountaineers. Ben Lumsden at the plate. Takes low for ball 1. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast that this was going to be a tough matchup for the Horned Frogs here today, with no wind and the ball really jumping here at Lupton Stadium against a West Virginia team that can hit a lot of home runs. You got to look at the flags not moving at all, which is a rarity here at Lupton Stadium. Usually it's blowing one way or the other, but not tonight. 3-0 count on Lumsden. Three and 1. Lumsden was taken all the way there. And he walks him. A home run and a walk here to start the 6th inning. Time is called as TCU infield heading out to the mound to talk to Chase Hoover.
Yeah, it's a double barrel action out in the TCU bullpen now. Andrew Mosiello, the right-hander, warming up on the right side of your screen. Braden Sloan on the left side, the left-hander.
Kirk Sarlos sending his infield to the mound to buy some time for both of them to get loose. Skylar King will bat here with nobody out, a runner at first base. And here comes Kirk Sarlos out of the dugout. And usually that means that will be it for the pitcher. So he's not signaled quite yet, buying a little bit more time for Sloan and Mosiello to loosen up. Kirk Sarlos looking out towards the bullpen, just kind of waiting on the sign for somebody to be ready out there. Meanwhile, he's talking to Chase Hoover. And now he's going to make the call to the bullpen. So a new pitcher coming on for the Horned Frogs here in the 6th inning. We'll give you the numbers on Braden Sloan when we get back from this timeout. TCU goes to the bullpen and brings on their left-hander, Braden Sloan.
14th appearance overall for Braden Sloan. 10th time out of the bullpen for the Horned Frogs this year. A 4-3 record for the sophomore left-hander. Had a start earlier in the year where he struck out 13. And the question is, does he have his secondary stuff going? Because the changeup's an elite pitch. Struck out all 3 New Mexico State hitters that he faced in an inning of work last week. On here for Chase Hoover in the top half of the 6th inning.
Hoover ends up going 2 1/3 for TCU. Allows 3 hits, 3 runs, does leave with property on base. Struck out 5, walked 1. That walk just coming a moment ago. 42 pitches for Chase Hoover tonight. So Braden Sloan will come on here with a runner at first base, nobody out. And there's Hoover. He was back in the bullpen for a minute, probably to go get his stuff.
He's trying to hide from the camera somehow.
Hit behind the wall there, did a good job of finding some cover.
Sloan, one of those left-handers, he can get you 92, 93 with the fastball if he needs to, but especially to right-handed hitters, change up with a ton of fade down and away. One of those pitches just falls right off the table, and the arm action is the exact same as the fastball. It's why he gets so many swings and misses right through it. As a hitter, you think you're seeing the fastball coming in, the ball just dives late, you swing right through it.
First batter that Sloan will face will be the 9-hole hitter, Skylar King. King squares early here. Brody Green charging hard, and Sloan throws to first base. King again squaring. Now pulls the bat back and fouls it. Took a slash play on there, trying to get Brody Green to come in and maybe slap the ball right past him. Fouled that one off, so the count 0-1 on King. Sloan again throws over to first base. Sloan, like a lot of pitchers who use the changeup, frequently will grip the ball with the changeup grip, and that way if they have to change it, it's easier to change the fastball. King shows bunt, and that pitch missed outside.
Yeah, this is one of those at-bats, one of those situations. Runner on first base, already seen a couple of pickoff attempts from Sloan. Very easy to lose track of the hitter at the plate.
Bunted foul. King had a bunt his last time up back in the 4th inning. Was credited with the sacrifice, but I think he was trying to bunt his way on.
That's another one, just moving out of the box a little bit too soon before you locate that ball down.
Sloan again goes over to first base. Lumsden's really not very far off the bag.
Oh, he's just 3 for 3 in stolen bases this year, so not a huge threat over there to run.
Got him swinging on a good pitch. And there's one away.
And you can see the depth on that breaking ball in there from Sloan. It's why he gets so many swings and misses over it. And this is a good one that he starts up above the knee. Looks like a strike out of the hand, but it just keeps going across the plate, down and out. And Skylar King wide out in front. All you can do is swing over the top of it. Big first out for Braden Sloan.
Logan Sauve, the catcher, coming up with one out and a runner at first base. He takes strike one. Sauve 2 for 3. He's got a couple of singles that came in his first 2 at bats. Struck out his last time up. All of his at bats, except for the last one coming against the starter Cole Klecker. Chase Hoover struck him out his last time to the plate. Sloan misses inside, a ball in the strike. Well, a 4-home run onslaught for West Virginia, and they have a 7-2 lead here in the 6th inning. Another throw over to first base. Sloan really paying attention to Lumsden over there. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, Lumsden's getting a big lead every time, but it looks to be one way. His first step every time that Sloan lifts that front leg is back towards first base. They're drawing a lot of action over there.
In the dirt, smothered by Curtis Byrne. The throw down to second, not in time. Lumsden took off once he saw that ball in the dirt. Got to second base.
It looks like Curtis just doesn't initially see
Lumsden take off because he picks this ball clean, but a little bit of hesitation, a couple extra steps before he takes the throw. He's got to gather himself, takes the shuffle, and the throw is to the third base side of second. No break for the Mountaineers as Lumsden gets into scoring position with 1 out.
Another pitch in the dirt, and it's full 3-2. Lumsden advances on the wild pitch. 3-2 from Sloan. Got him swinging. Big strikeout for Sloan. That's the second out of the inning. Coming up, the dangerous J.J. Wetherholt, who's already gone deep twice tonight.
Now through his first at bat, TCU had held him in check, but since then he's been scorching hot, showing why he's a projected top 10 pick in the draft coming up in a couple of months. 2 no-doubters here off the bat of J.J. Wetherholt. And TCU's going to put him on. It's not surprising the way he swung the bat tonight.
TCU with first base open, wanting no part of J.J. Wetherholt here in the 6th inning, and they just intentionally walk him. So there's runners at first and second, 2 outs. Kirk Sarlos electing to pitch to Sam White instead. First pitch from Sloan, misses low, ball 1. White reached via the walk back in the 3rd inning, scored on the home run by Hussey. Only time he's been on base tonight, and he waves at that pitch. 75-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch that time from Sloan. See what White's done. 0 for 2. He's grounded out, struck out, aside from the walk. And again, he's way out in front. One-two from Sloan. Missed outside, 2-2. Sloan went to the fastball. Missed off the plate, and it's full 3-2, so that'll start the runners. Lumsden from second, Wetherholt from first. They'll both be off on the pitch. Got him swinging. Went after a pitch up and out of the strike zone, and that'll do it. But the Mountaineers tack on a run. It comes on, just 1 hit. That was the home run. 7-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th here in Fort Worth. Bottom half of the 6th inning, West Virginia with a 5-run lead. Luke Boyer's leading it off, and he takes the first pitch for ball 1. That's just his 79th or 80th pitch thrown by Clark tonight. Talked about his 3 complete games. He's in line for another one here. This one's looped to center field, and it's going to be caught by King as he moves over towards left center.
Now, and any quick at-bats like this certainly help Derek Clark's cause in that category. You just have the feeling that Randy Mazey going to want to get every pitch that he can out of his left-hander. Series finale be tomorrow between these two teams. If this score holds, it'll be a rubber match in the series.
Anthony Silva coming off a great night last night. 0 for 2 here tonight.
Let's get it started.
Up in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes. There's TCU has swept the regular season series against West Virginia in each of the, or in 4 of the 9 times they've played. ball is fouled off. TCU leading the overall series 25-11, including last night's win. Again, it's fouled off. This one will make it to the berm, just beyond the stands on the first base side.
It was anything but that, though, last year between these two teams. West Virginia taking it to TCU last year up in Morgantown.
And very few of these games, however, have been one-sided. Nip and tuck. Talking about the difficulty of winning on the road in this league as Silva strikes out for the second time tonight, and there are 2 quick outs here to start the bottom half of the 6th inning.
There you see Silva again, struck out on a fastball earlier in the ball game. Now Derek Clark going to the slider, getting to swing through right through that one, just underneath the knees. After a great offensive performance from the Horned Frog shortstop last night, 0 for 3 so far this evening.
One of the things Randy Mazie was talking about to me was, he said, you know, the league tries to schedule us on the road over here, either in Texas or in Oklahoma, for the final series of the regular season so that we have an easy trip to Globe Life for the conference tournament. He said, but what's happened is it's made it difficult for us to win because winning on the road in this league is so hard, and then you go into the conference tournament with no momentum. And he said that's been a little bit of a struggle for us, a little bit of an adjustment as Brody Green goes after the first pitch. And it's 0-1. And both of these teams have not been great on the road this year. Green 0 for 2 today. West Virginia 12-14, just a tick under 500. TCU, we've documented their road struggles this year, 7-11 away from Lupton Stadium. And Kirk Salos' team has played great here at home and struggled on the road. But this is not an easy league to win in when you're on the road, that's for sure. Clark trying to set the side down in order. Little dribbler to the right side, and that's going to get through for a base hit. We talked about that wide open right side last time. Green was up when he had a couple of men on base. This time he just hits one off the end of the bat and it trickles right through the infield.
No, he's fortunate that he's this far in front of it. So this one had pull side ground ball written all over it, but because he's that far out in front, just cues this off the end of the bat. It barely makes it to the outfield grass. It's a line drive in the scorebook, and Brody Green will take that single. 1 for 3 for the junior so far this evening.
Now you don't care how you get him. Carson Bowen takes high and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Bowen had a base hit his last time up. Fouls that one back. He pulled one through the hole on the left side. It's also flown out to right field. Both of his balls hit well. The one that went through the left side of the infield, and then the fly ball to right field that was run down by Lumsden right up against the fence. Another good swing, but he fouled it back. Ball and 2 strikes on Carson Bowen. Up over 90 pitches now. For Clark. We'll see how long Randy Mazie rides him. He did say he can easily go 100, so depending on how quickly he can get the final out of this inning. See how much further along he can go into this ball game. Mazie said his bullpen's been struggling this year. That's why we saw a couple of young arms yesterday. out of the Mountaineer bullpen late in the game. A couple of guys who hadn't seen a lot of time on the mound. Swing and a miss. He gets Carson Bowen for the final out of the inning. No runs, a hit, a man left on base for TCU here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. We'll move to the 8th in Fort Worth. West Virginia leading at 7-2. Pitching change for the Horned Frogs as we start the top half of the 7th inning. They bring on the right-hander, Andrew Mosiello.
Just the 9th relief appearance for Andrew Mosiello this season. The transfer from the University of Oregon. A loss on the year and a save for the Horned Frogs. 17 strikeouts and 11 2/3 innings of work. Haven't seen Mosiello since the last week of April. That was against Kansas State. Went 4 innings in relief in that ball game. It was a 4-inning save. Just 2 hits that he scattered. Struck out 6 Wildcats in that appearance. So Kirk Saarloos going back to a right-hander here to start the 7th inning, down 7-2.
For Braden Sloan, he goes an inning tonight without allowing a hit or a run. Struck out 3, walked 1. Threw a wild pitch, 16 pitches in total for Braden Sloan. So overall, a pretty good outing for Sloan as he went out to the bullpen, and now he's headed back towards the dugout, making a little stop over there to talk to some friendly faces. And Andrew Mosiello will face 4, 5, 6 in the West Virginia batting order here. Reed Chumley will lead it off. First pitch swing, fouls it over the roof on the right side. Chumley 0 for 3 here tonight, 0 for 5 with a walk and a sacrifice fly here this weekend. Ball and strike on Chumley. Final game of the regular season coming up tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock start here at Lupton Stadium. Mosiello misses down and away. A ball and 2 strikes. Going in the air right side. Boyers able to make the catch. Tough time of night. The high sky right now, but Boyers doing a good job of paying attention to that one all the way.
Grant Hussey coming to the plate now, and look at what he did back in the 3rd inning. The second 2-run homer of the night for West Virginia. At that point, made it a 4-0 ball game in the top half of the 3rd inning.
All of West Virginia's runs coming via the home run here tonight. 4 home runs for the Mountaineers. Big hop. And Robinson takes care of Hussey for the 2nd out of the inning.
Now this is where you have to live against a guy like Grant Hussey. See, it's down and away. We've already seen what he can do with the power to the pull side, but you stay out of trouble there on the outer part of the plate, keeping that ball down around the knees. Robinson able to make the play at 2nd.
Now 2 outs, bases empty. Kyle West takes ball 1. West Virginia will send. You see what West has done tonight? Has a double in 3 plate appearances. In tomorrow's game, West Virginia will send Tyler Switalski to the mound. The starter yet to be determined for the Horned Frogs tomorrow. Good pitch from Mosiello, had him out in front. It's a ball on 2 strikes. And Kyle West has squared up a couple of baseballs here this weekend. Hit a rocket to second. He's also got a double. Hit a hard shot to second last night, but he strikes out here to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Mosiello and the Horned Frogs. It's stretch time in Fort Worth. TCU trailing West Virginia 7-2. Another Chamber of Commerce night here in Fort Worth. Beautiful sunset behind Lupton Stadium on a low 80-degree evening. Let's take a look at the Big 12 standings heading into tonight's action.
You see where these 2 teams sit on your left side of your page. West Virginia in that 4 spot right now, in control here of this ball game. Horned Frogs into 7th place. Now there's a scenario these 2 teams play again in the first round of the conference tournament next week, depending upon results here and otherwise in the conference.
Ryder Robinson skies one to right field, and Lumsden makes the catch for out number 1.
And coming into the weekend, the only 2 seeds that are set are 1 and 10. Oklahoma winning the regular season in the Big 12. Texas Tech will slide into that 10 spot. But a lot up for grabs still in the middle. A lot of teams bunched up there at the 13-14 loss mark. Still yet to be determined. Final seeding. And, we touched on early on, but every individual win that you can stack up as Myers pops up another bunt here. Has not had the feel for it so far tonight.
Nice play made by Save coming out from behind the plate. And you're right, as far as Myers is concerned, normally a great bunter, and he's really struggled here tonight. And that's 2 quick outs for Derek Clark here in this inning.
And you see it's just a few times where he's taken some stabs at the ball, and normally he's really good at, you hear it, coach sometimes catching the ball with the bat, taking a couple of stabs at it. This one pops up, and Save able to pop up and make the play.
Up over 100 pitches now for Clark, but he's making quick work of the Horned Frogs here in the 7th inning. 2 quick outs. Jack Arthur at the plate. Takes a strike, and it's 1-1.
And this is where, if you're the Horned Frogs coming into this inning, obviously hindsight 2020 here, but you've got to work to get Clark out of the game, especially with how effective he's been. Horned Frogs able to scrape 2 runs across in the 4th inning, but outside of that, not a whole lot of action.
And they've not had a whole lot of success against Clark. They do have 7 hits, but he has scattered them.
Go, Jack.
On the ground, foul. Arthur battling here. Or a handful of really good arms that we haven't seen yet in that West Virginia bullpen. I'm sure we'll see one, at least one, down the stretch here in this ball game. As pitch count climbing now for Clark, who's done an outstanding job for the Mountaineers. First hit of the ball game came in the 3rd inning for TCU. And down on strikes goes Arthur to end the inning. It's a 1-2-3, bottom half of the 7th inning for Clark. We head to the 8th here in Fort Worth. All Mountaineers 7-2. New pitcher on the mound as we start the top half of the 8th inning. Mason Bixby coming out of the TCU bullpen.
Now, first time to the mound since April 27th for Mason Bixby. His 8th appearance overall in his freshman campaign. Was into the rotation for a few weeks in the middle portion of the season. It's a live arm from Bixby. We've seen him up above 100 miles an hour with the slider up sometimes into the low 90s. So if you're West Virginia, it's get your foot down, get ready to go. Question is, can Bixby be in the strike zone early from pitch 1?
Bixby replaces Andrew Mosiello, who goes an inning without allowing a hit or a run. 1 strikeout, no walks for Mosiello, who needed just 10 pitches to get through the 7th inning. And a really good outing for Andrew Mosiello here.
And on the top half of the 8th inning now, Horned Frogs still down by 5. It's 7-2 ball game. If you're Bixby, you've got to keep the Mountaineers at 7. 6 offensive outs left to play with in regulation for the Horned Frogs.
Bixby finishing up his warm-up toss. He's a little late arriving out of the TCU bullpen. He'll face the bottom third of the West Virginia batting order. Second baseman Brody Kresser will lead things off. First pitch fastball's in there for strike 1. Solo home run last time up for Kresser, who's 2 for 3. He's also singled. That came back in the 2nd inning in between time he struck out. The ball and a strike. You said it a moment ago when you were talking about Bixby. No question about his arm, that's for sure. Just a matter of gaining some experience and being able to harness it. See that pitch up around 98 miles an hour on the top of the strike zone. Just impossible to catch up to. Close to 100 miles an hour. One thing when you have a live arm like Bixby has, it can cover up a lot of mistakes. You make a mistake right down the middle of the plate, but the velocity can just beat you.
And you see Kresser starting to see it as well and taking some of these pitches that are up. Saw him swing through one earlier, but bringing this count to full, trying to force Mason Bixby to bring the ball down.
Steady diet of fastballs thus far to Kresser. And he got him swinging.
Now you talk about it potentially covering some mistakes. Not bad when you go back and get 100 in a full count here. And that's just nothing too fancy. A 4-seam heater by Bixby up above the belt. Kresser swings underneath it.
One out to start the 8th, and it'll bring up Ben Lumsden, right fielder, and he takes high for ball 1. Lumsden's hit it to a double play, and an infield single in the 4th. Walked his last time up, 1 for 2. Foul backing out of play. The ball and the strike, and you know Bixby a little bit like Paul Skeens. That 100 comes out of his hand pretty easy. Doesn't look like a lot of effort being exerted.
I was very interested with what you were about to say when you said a little bit like Paul Skeens, but I think you're right. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. It's an easy 100.
Yeah.
Not too often that you get to say that. Easy 100 out of the hand, but it really does almost look effortless.
Yeah, Skeen's a little bit more polished in terms of his secondary stuff and also his command of the strike zone, but this ball popped up center field. Myers has a beat on it. And they're 2 away. Myers making the easy catch out in center field. 2 quick outs. Skylar King will be the batter.
Here we go. 1 pitch.
There's a strike. 99 miles an hour. Go for 2 with a sac bunt for King here tonight as he stands in against Mason Bixby and lines this one towards the gap in left center field. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Myers out to pick it up. King really flying. Will stop at second base with a double. It didn't matter that pitch was in the upper 90s. He got the barrel to it and rocketed his 7th double of the year.
Now this is textbook, being ready to hit a fastball, getting a slider that hangs up. And King, we've already seen the flat swing on display tonight, able to put this one in the right center field gap. And with the great speed, looked like a triple out of the box, but Myers able to do a nice job of getting that ball back in. Skylar King, double into the right center gap here.
Well, 2 outs. He's at second base, top of the order. Logan Salve coming up. Chance to add to the lead. Fouls a fastball back to the screen. Two for 4 for Sovic. Both of his hits coming in his first 2 plate appearances. Since then, he has struck out twice. There goes King. Ball is taken. Throw down to third. Not in time. Stolen base number 10. He got a great jump.
And you see this one just a little bit on Mason Bixby. Not quite giving him the attention that he needs out there at second base. And King recognizes early, takes advantage. Waste no time, take a third base.
0-2 count here on Salve. Fights it off, fouled it back toward the track. It'll stay no balls and 2 strikes. Bixby went to the breaking ball but missed outside.
Pretty good. Usually, I've been playing college ball for like 8 years.
Well, ball and 2 strikes. Salve with a runner over at third base and 2 away. Bixby deals on the ground, a couple of hops to short. Silva has it, and the inning is over. And a good inning for Mason Bixby. No runs, a hit, a man left on base here in the top half of the 8th. We'll move to the bottom half of the 8th inning. West Virginia leading at 7-2. Randy Mazey sticking with his starter, Derek Clark.
106 pitches so far for Derek Clark, but coming back out for the bottom of the 8th. And last week's Big 12 pitcher of the week, the newcomer of the week in the conference as well. And he's trying to make a bid for back-to-back honors here, twirling another gem. 7 innings so far tonight. He's scattered 7 Horned Frog hits, just 2 runs, both of those coming in the bottom half of the 4th inning. It's been all Mountaineers so far here tonight. Derek Clark leading the charge as advertised.
It'll be Maxwell Byrne Boyers for the Horned Frogs here in the 8th inning. TCU finds himself down by 5. And the first pitch hit on 1 hop right at Cresser. And the second baseman dispatches with Maxwell for the first out here in the 8th.
Now Maxwell gets a great swing off here. He's just a tad on top of it, but it's a hot shot to second base. Well played by Kresser. Knows he's got time, can take the drop step.
Curtis Byrne takes strike 1. Well, if you're TCU, you don't need to get all 5 runs back in this inning, although I'm sure they would like to, but at least get yourself back to where you're in striking distance if you can. Right now, you'd have to load the bases, get a grand slam, and still need something extra. Line towards the gap in right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Over to cut it off is Lumsden. And they'll hold Curtis Byrne to a single.
Now it's a nice job by Byrne here, staying through this. See, this gets in on him a little bit, but a bit of an inside-out swing, hitting this ball the other way into right center field. Now you talk about the keys to a potential comeback here for the Horned Frogs. Step number 1, you've got to get Derek Clark out of the game. That means seeing pitches. That means continuing to elongate this 8th inning.
Boyers goes after the first pitch, fouled it back.
You know, that's one thing we've seen with this new era of TCU baseball. Not afraid, even playing from behind, swinging at the first pitch, trying to remain aggressive at the plate.
Boyers 1 for 2. He's got a base hit tonight. He's also walked. Little dribble right back to the mound. They'll go to first base for the out, 2 away. Byrne will advance to second base. But right now, Mountaineers very content to trade a base for an out. Horned Frogs down to their final 4 outs of the ball game.
Now, I've been talking about it all night, but this is what Derek Clark is able to do. A ton of cue shots, weak contact as well. And Boyers tapping it right back to him.
Anthony Silva takes strike 1. We documented Silva's game last night, a great game, a double and a home run. He's 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts. And a ball and strike on Anthony. Lays off that pitch. Run the count to 2 balls and a strike. On the ground, right into the shift. Kresser was right there to cover it up. And that'll do it for the Horned Frogs here in the 8th. No runs on a hit. 1 man left on base. We go to the 9th inning. West Virginia leading at 7-2. Top of the 9th, top of the order for West Virginia, and they'll do it against a new pitcher for the Horned Frogs. Storm Hairholzer coming into the game.
Just 8 1/3 innings of work for Storm Hairholzer so far this year. The redshirt junior out of Austin has a win in 6 prior appearances. Kirk Sarlos going back to the bullpen one more time tonight, seeing if his team can spark a pretty large comeback in the bottom half of the 9th, but it's going to start with holding West Virginia at 7.
Hairholzer replaces Mason Bixby, who works an inning tonight, allows a hit, no runs, struck out 1, 17 pitches for the big right-hander. 6th pitcher used by Kirk Sarlos tonight, and really Sloan, Mosiello, Bixby all doing a great job not allowing any runs. All 7 runs coming against the starter, Klecker, and the first man out of the bullpen, Chase Hoover. And all via the home run tonight, as West Virginia has used the long ball to take the 7-2 lead. 3 2-run home runs, 2 of them coming by J.J. Wetherholt, who's in the on-deck circle. Check that. Yes, he's leading it off here. Two-run home runs for Wetherholt. Fouls that pitch back. He's also been intentionally walked and fouled out tonight. Trying to sneak a pitch on the outside corner, just missed.
Yeah, that's a really nice pitch in there from Storm Herholzer. Trying to go to the backside with that slider, just misses right around the plate.
Foul straight back over the roof. And the count remained a ball and 2 strikes. Horned were able to keep Wetherholt in check last night, but he's broken out in a big way here tonight, accounting for 4 of the 7 runs that the Mountaineers have this evening. Went around. Wetherholt strikes out. They have to throw down the first base since the ball was in the dirt. And he's retired for the first out here in the 9th.
And you can see some of that good action on the breaking ball from Storm Herholzer. When he snaps it off and it starts down low, he can get some swings and misses like this. And talk about how good J.J. Wetherholt's been. And it's got to be a good pitch for him to offer at it like that.
One away to start the 9th inning. Sam White takes the first pitch outside, ball 1. White's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. Two 2-0. The TCU bullpen, you talked about it earlier this evening. Really done a pretty good job. Gave up the 3 runs early in the game. Chase Hoover giving up the 3 runs on a couple of home runs, but since then, Sloan, Mosiello, Bixby, and now Herholzer have done a really nice job out of this TCU bullpen. And the Horned Frogs heading into the conference tournament, which will begin on Tuesday for TCU. They're going to need as many arms as they possibly can get in order to weather their way through it, and any postseason that may come after it for TCU. As you well know, once you get into postseason play, you need a lot of guys who can step on top of the mound and perform for you. Ball 4 as Herholzer walks White.
You talk about the postseason for both of these two teams, and we've been discussing it on and off tonight, but wins are precious this time of year, especially as you look at the win totals. Each of these two teams at 31 right now. Got one more game coming up tomorrow. It looks like it'll likely be a rubber match between these two, but then conference tournament in Arlington, we see a lot of teams start their runs in those conference tournaments. It was Oklahoma a couple of years back. They ran it all the way to the College World Series. TCU last year.
Reed Chumley takes the first pitch low for ball 1, no question. But, you see a lot of teams get hot starting in that conference tournament and ride it all the way to Omaha. In the past, there have been teams that have gotten hot and ridden it all the way to a national championship. Coastal Carolina coming to mind. Among others. But the one thing you know, in order to get through the postseason, most times you're going to need more than just 2 or 3 arms in order to do it. .3-0 count here on Chumley. There's a strike. Especially if you fall in the loser's bracket at any one of these tournaments, you need to fight your way back through it.
Tell you what, that regional round's a whole lot more fun if you go 3-0.
Ball 4, back-to-back walks. And Storm Hairholzers, there's an Achilles for him. It's been his inability to consistently throw strikes. He's got great stuff.
You know, you see some of these are in great spots too, just not getting the calls that he wants at the bottom portion of the strike zone. You know, the stuff's absolutely there. He's up to 97 with a lot of arm side run from the slot that he throws from. We've already saw the great bite on the breaking ball. J.J. Wetherholt swinging over a couple of them. But you're right, it's just the consistency and getting that repeated precision.
After striking out Wetherholt, he's walked White and Chumley, and now will face Grant Hussey with 2 on and 1 out. In the dirt, and a nice stop by Byrne. Throw down to second. He almost had him, but White able to get back to the bag. Hussey's had a 2-run home run tonight. That came back in the 3rd inning. A couple of 2-run home runs in that inning. Wetherholt had one earlier in that frame. And Hussey upset with himself that he went after a pitch in the dirt. That one fouled off. Might have caught a piece of Hussey as he walks around limping, trying to walk that one off. You know, we've talked about this series and the fact that these two teams, you know, battle each other. They will not play next year with the addition of Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah to the slate. Not every team plays each other, and West Virginia and TCU will miss each other for the first time since they both became members of the Big 12 back in 2013. Hit hard, but foul. Moving off the sidewall down the right field line. We'll stay a ball and 2 strikes after the foul ball. Hussey. On the ground, Robinson goes to second for 1, over to first, not in time. Hussey able to beat it out. The Mountaineers will have runners at the corners.
Yeah, just too long of a distance to try and turn this. It's a good effort by Ryder Robinson and Anthony Silva. It's a slider that just stays up. Hussey hits it hard, just a long way for that ball to travel.
pinch hitter coming up for the Mountaineers. Michael Peraza will pinch hit for Kyle West. Left-handed hitter against Ehrheiser here, takes ball one. Peraza, a freshman, hitting .254 with a homer. Up now with runners at the corner, 2 away. There's a strike and no throw down to second base as Grant Hussey will take second base on defensive indifference. TCU just concerned about getting the final out of the inning here. Back through the middle, backhanded nicely by Robinson, and the inning is over. We'll head to the bottom half of the 9th inning here in Fort Worth. TCU trailing the Mountaineers 7-2. We head to the bottom half of the 9th inning. West Virginia goes to their bullpen and brings on the right-hander Hamilton Oliver.
18th relief appearance for Hamilton Oliver, the transfer to West Virginia from Baylor. 2 wins, a loss, and 3 saves for the right-hander Oliver. Just about a strikeout an inning so far for him, holding opponent to a .214 batting average. And it'll take quite the comeback from the Horned Frogs, but Oliver right now taking over for the starter, Derek Clark, who chucked another gem for him tonight.
A great performance for Clark this evening. He goes 8 innings, allows 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 6 strikeouts, a walk, 116 pitches. And those numbers really don't even tell the story. He's really dominated TCU throughout the majority of the game, held them hitless until a base hit in the 3rd inning by Myers, and then the only 2 runs of the game scored in the 4th. A home run by Maxwell, and then after a double, an error, and a base hit, a run scoring in the 4th inning, and that was it. He slammed the door, and just an overall outstanding performance from Derek Clark, the senior.
And that 4th inning had a chance to get away from him. Logan Maxwell hits the home run. TCU scores on an error by Clark. He throws the ball off the bunt back up the first base line. Had a type of inning that could get away from you, but he came back in, slammed the door, and composed himself. And that really, I think, was the key turning point here in this ball game. TCU started to put something together, but Clark able to stop the bleeding, and West Virginia kept on scoring.
Pitch is taken down low by Brody Green. They even counted the ball on the strike. I have to agree with you. I thought that was the inning where if TCU could have scored another couple of runs, they might have even gotten them out of the game. But once he got out of it, he was able to settle back down again. And Horned Frogs really haven't been in this game since that 4th inning. Green strikes out for the first out here in the 9th.
I see Oliver going to the slider away, exactly what he wants to do with it. Starts it out over the plate and gets the chase from Brody Green away. Been that type of night offensively for the Horned Frogs.
And it's been a quiet 8 hits for TCU. Carson Bowen takes strike 1. And unless TCU can mount a big comeback here, tomorrow afternoon will be the rubber game of this 3-game series as Carson Bowen goes down in a heap after fouling that ball off. I don't know if it came right back down on his foot, but he's slow to get up.
You see that just right off of the inside of the front knee from Bowen, and there's just not a whole lot there to protect that one. See him trying to loosen it up, and that swelling on something like that starts just about immediately.
Danny Wheat and Kirk Sarlos over to talk to him, and Constant Bowen says, I'm good. In the hole, 0-2. A ball and 2 strikes as the pitch missed off the plate. Got him swinging for the second out of the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts.
And I see it's been the same pitch here, both outs, and Hamilton Oliver has the slider working. A couple of strikeouts here, and you hear the crowd making a little bit of noise here. Peyton Tolley getting a pinch hit here late in the ball game.
Been a while since we've seen Peyton Tolley as a hitter. He takes the first pitch outside, ball 1. Tolley does have 47 at bats, but they all came early in the season. 9 out of 47 for Tolley, just a 191 average. A couple of home runs, and Peyton thought he would be the DH when he wasn't pitching, but really had struggled offensively early in the year after having a great fall for the Horned Frogs. Pulls that one foul, and TCU is down to their final strike of the night. The power is there for Peyton Tolley. It's just been a matter of consistent contact for him at the plate. Two and 2 on Tolley, who pitched a gem last night for the Horned Frogs. That's the pitch he's been swinging at. Able to lay off for that one here and run the count 4.
That's a good take there, especially first in-game at bat in quite some time. Seen both Brody Green and Carson Bowen go fishing on that pitch. Tolley works it to a full count.
There's a payoff pitch to Tolley. And he draws a walk. A really good at bat by Peyton Tolley. Not swinging at a couple of pitches we've seen him go after quite a bit this year.
Now, before he even takes 2 steps, there's a pinch runner coming out for him. Kirk Sarlos not going to let him try and take off and steal.
Camden Sauce will pinch run. Tolley back into the TCU dugout. Sam Myers had a rough night coming to the plate. Takes outside, ball 1. He does have a base hit that came back in the 3rd inning. That's his only hit of the night, 1 for 4. Tried to bunt his last time up and popped out to the catcher. Hits this one back towards the middle, and that should do it as they go to second for the force play to end the ball game. For TCU, no runs, no hits, a man left on base here in the bottom half of the 9th. West Virginia evening things up here, winning at 7-2 on the strength of the long ball.
Yeah, it really was a dominant performance for Randy Mazey's club tonight. Derek Clark outstanding on the mound, and you said it, the extra base hit, the home run, really fueling the Mountaineers here this evening.
Final totals for West Virginia: 7 runs, 10 hits, an error, 8 men left on base. For TCU, 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. They left 8. Derek Clark, the winner, he's now 7-2. Cole Klecker, the loser, he's now 1-3. West Virginia now 32-20 overall, 18-11 in Big 12 play for the Horned Frogs. They are now 31-18 and fall to 14-15. Rubber game of the series coming up tomorrow. TCU will look to even their conference record at 15-15 heading into the conference tournament next week. For Connor Wanhanen, this is Chuck Lomadola saying so long from Fort Worth, where the final tonight, West Virginia 7, TCU 2. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streamed live on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.